everybody, to another episode of Renegade's Garage. Today, we're in my house. We're actually in a storage room of it. You might be able to hear the dogs in the background, but tonight's video is going to be introducing you to the new welder I picked up for the Jeep project. And you might be wondering what it is, and I'll show you what it is. You may already know by the title, but let me show you. Come on. And here it is the Eastwood 180. And you're might be wondering why. Why I go with Eastwood? I went with Eastwood because the last two welders and plasma cutter I have are all Eastwood products, and they run amazing. I had the older version of the 140, and I had the previous version of this, which is the 175. Both are amazing welders. You might be asking, hey, you used to have the 175. Isn't that basically what this welder is? And essentially, yes. It was the same welder, but I had it years ago before I really started messing with any big fabrication projects. Excuse me. Then I wasn't messing with any big fabrication projects. I was just starting to get my feet wet with welding. I was just upgrading from my first welder, which was a stick welder. Now I transitioned to the MIG welder, but it was a 30 amp circuit. I only could use it on my lean-to at the time, and there was a lot of confusion with it. So I sold that to a friend, bought the 140 I have now. Great welder, love it. Biggest problem with it currently is it don't go up to a 1/4 inch steel. Technically it says it does with flux core. I've never got to do it, and I don't particularly like flux core. So that's where this comes in. This is the Eastwood 180, like I said. It's 30 amp circuit. So I had to run an extension cord from my main panel on the side of the house where we have an RV plug, ran it around to the front of the house. Make sure my camera, there you go. Ran around to the side of the house, out to where I work on my carport. So now I have a 30 amp circuit to be able to plug this into, and it should work just fine. I'm gonna give a better review after I actually got some real welding in with it. This is technically my second one. I'll be blatantly honest. My first 180, I'm not sure. We had a voltage issue going into it. We actually fried it. Before you guys call me out, there's a whole story about it. I'll tell you guys later. But for purposes of the warranty, I cannot discuss right now. But it was basically a voltage issue at our breaker, what ended up killing it, for a short answer to the story. So Eastwood, standout company, called them that day, said, hey, the welder died, can you get a replacement? And they had this in the mail the second I sent the old one back off to them. So this is literally a week-ish later from having that first one, and I already have a replacement, so can't beat that. But let me get my pocket knife out. Let's open this up, and I'll show you what all it comes with. Stay tuned.
Okay, so first thing first, I'm sorry about the light and the shadows. Just it's dark outside. I want to get this video done so I can have it edited for my next video for Friday. So I'll let you know. Obviously you're watching this on Friday, so this video is Friday's video. Saturday I'm going out with the Kingdom Off-Road guys. Make sure you guys go check them out. But we're going to be doing a review / first impressions video of those kinetic ropes, so make sure you're stay tuned, check that out. That'll be Sunday's video. And then following Wednesday video, we're gonna get back to welding content on the Jeep. So bear with me. I'm trying to get a grasp of the schedule for filming and actually getting content filmed in time. But I do have a walk around video of the off-road camper coming up soon. I have a couple camping videos coming up soon, and obviously plenty of welding and Jeep content coming up. So, with no further ado, let's open this box up. The number one issue I have with Eastwood, and it's not even a problem with Eastwood themselves, it's they always use FedEx for shipping. I hate FedEx. The FedEx guy who drops my stuff off all the time. Like this box was left in the rain today. So you and me at the same time we're gonna be finding out if anything in here got wet. Hopefully not, but we'll find out together. So, you open up the box. Like every good welder, you have your manual. Now, I don't know if I mentioned, but this welder is dual voltage. It can run on either 30 amp 220, or it gives you a adapter to bring it down to 15 amp at 110. So it can be running literally in every garage, shop, however you want to do it. Here's your welding gun. I love their the welding guns. It feels real good, natural in the hand. Well, to me it feels natural in the hand because I'm very much used to these style welders. This style of setup now. All the consumables. The tip is nice and tight, but all the consumables are the standard style that Eastwood, Harbor Freight, Lincoln, Miller, everybody uses. So it's very easy to get replacement stuff for on the weekend after you run out. Over on this side, have regulator. I'm currently running the same regulator on my 140. It's a okay regulator. I mean, I don't know much into them, so I can't really say if it's a good one or not. But it does the purpose that I need. So I imagine for most hobbyists like me, it will run just fine. So we'll get to the welder here in a second. But over in this box, get your ground, which I have actually swapped this ground out to a different clamp on my 140. This ground worked fine, lasted me for 4 years just about, but I finally got to a point where I need to replace it because the cable right here that ties the two sides together gave out. So just keep that in mind. Unless it's gotten better, it will wear out, but that's any kind of consumable item, and I would consider that to be a consumable item. Next, to give you the hose for your gas hookup. It's not super long, but it's definitely long enough for most welding carts to about reach. Then they give you a free roll of your first wire. I believe it was, yeah, it's a 0.8, which if I remember correctly is a 30. So they give you a decent middle of the line wire to first start off with. And then your normal welding mask and they give you your first couple of consumable items and the tool for swapping them out. If my mind serves correctly, yes, it comes with a .30 and a .35. If you go anything smaller, like sheet metal, you would have to get those tips. Do note that the 140 I have came with the smaller tips, but it didn't come with bigger ones. So this being a 30 amp welder, I'm probably assuming you're going to be using this for thicker gauge wire anyhow, so it gives you the setup for going thicker gauge. And then the mask, I don't have to get it out to show it to you, but it's just one of the handheld ones. Like there's a little handhold that goes right there, and it comes with a wire brush and the lens and everything in there. So let's go to the main thing you guys are all come here to check out. Right here. The one Eastwood welder. Okay. So, let me get the camera off the tripod. I'll give you guys a quick walk around of it. Here's the welder. First thing you see is big Eastwood MiG 180. And you have your front panel right here. Tells you your ratings. This is rated from 30 amp to 180. 23 volts, 180 volts, or 23 volts at I believe it's DC. Yeah, 23 volts DC at 180 amps, and it has a 30% duty cycle. Then you have your wire speed and arc volts, which I don't quite understand why the speed knob is bigger than the volts, but that is what it is. This has the option of you're running a MIG gun, or if you want to do aluminum, you can go get an aluminum spool gun. So that's your blend to change between those two. Has the 2T, 4T, and tack features. 2T is your standard press and hold the gun, press and hold to light and then keep welding, then let go and turns it off. 4 is you click it on, can weld, then you click it and turn it off, so you don't have to hold your finger on the button. Personally, a feature I'm very excited about. Then tack allows you to get the perfect timed tack welds every time, especially if you're doing a lot of sheet metal. That'd be a very handy feature if that is what you desire. Then coming down to the bottom, you have your input right here for the end of your cable goes in there. Then that plugs in right there. Unlike the old 140 I have, it has outside jumpers where you can change from a negative ground or positive ground, or change it where it's a positive or negative for the main feed, which is a feature you will need if you want to switch back and forth between flux and standard shielded gas. Okay, spin it around to the side here. You can see there's a nice big solid handle to grab it by. The old one only had a little tiny handle. And one of the bigger differences, what's going to take some getting used to for me, especially for my setup for where I weld, the wire load is now on the left side where it used to be on the right side. So that's going to take a little bit of getting used to on my part, but if you're new to this welder or you just don't really care, depending on how your setup is, that may not matter to you. Just me, how my current setup is a lot easier to get to on the other side, but I will learn to adapt. So you push the button up here, it opens it up. Here's all of your welding increments it's set up for. This shows it can go up to 5/16 steel.
I need it for 1/4 inch. And with the previous welder I had, the one that I had the warranty out, I ran it at 1/4 inch, did some test welds on the axle, and it does 1/4 inch beautiful. But I'll show you guys that in the next welding video, so stay tuned for that. And then also, like I said, it has aluminum and go up to 3/16 in aluminum. Down here you have your standard spool wire setup. Has this little winglet right here. Things changed it out to be either the 10-pound wire, I believe it's 10 pound, like was it 8 or 10 pound wire, or the smaller to go to a standard like 2-pound roll. This is a nice upgrade from my current one, is all of the wire feed mechanism is all nice and metal. The rollers on my current one are steel, but this whole mechanism for like this bracket right here and everything is all plastic. So I'm very much a big fan of this being metal versus the old style that's all plastic. But if you know the inside of a MIG gun, this is very standard. I mean, you have your quick reference guide there and a very similar layout to what you're used to on the side. Okay, now we flip it around to the back. The two biggest complaints I have with it. The gas hookup right there is kind of in a weird spot. Not a big fan of it being directly in the middle. Mostly because my welding cart, my argon bottle is directly behind it. So that kind of becomes a problem. And the number 2 thing is I'm not a big fan of the power button being on the back. And that's something I've heard on lots of reviews. And I frankly agree with them. Then you have your nice big cooling fan right here, which I don't recall if my current one has a big fan like this or not. Or my 140 I have has a cooling fan like that or not. I'm sure it does, I just don't recall offhand. Then you have your standard plug right here. Then all of your electrical input right there. So guys, that was the Eastwood welder unboxing. Like I said, I have multiple Eastwood products. I love them. I can't wait to actually test this one out and put it through its paces. You guys will be the first ones to see a follow-up video and first-hand impression and review of my new welder. That being said, if you guys have questions about my other welder, technically is outdated now because they've upgraded it to the newer technology like this 180 has, but I'll gladly make a review video of my welder and plasma. So, like I said, moving forward, this is going to be Friday's video. Sunday's video is going to be the Kingdom Off-Road Kinetic Rope review. Make sure you check it out. If you like it, make sure you go pick one up and tell them that Renegade sent you. They may give you a bit of a discount. Then after that, we're back to the Jeep. Here soon, I'm going to make sure I have camping content for you guys, the people who follow me for the runaway content. I promise it's still sitting out there. You guys seen it in the other videos. I just not have much time nor spare funds to go camping. But I'll make sure I get some camping footage coming up in the runaway. You guys who are into overlanding, I'll make sure I have a walk around of my homemade off-road trailer. I believe a lot of you guys will find it fascinating how I set that up. If you're into overland or not, it's still a cool setup. But into the next video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Stay positive, work on your vehicles or your projects, and we'll see you in the next video. See you later. Bye.
tell you what, trying to film with 3 dogs right here, trying to just be the dorks they are, is very hard.